Welcome to Lake of the Ozarks. It is Saturday and we're pre-fishing for Anglers in Action tournament tomorrow. Was going to be fishing this with Mike, but he's doing the right thing, staying home because his son is having a child. Well, actually not his son, his significant other. So Mike's going to be a granddad. So shout out to Mike, miss you, man. But we're fishing with Greg tomorrow and we're staying at Greg's Casa. Look at this place, it's nice. This ramp was super slick this morning. We're getting kind of a late start, it's been foggy. But he literally slid down this ramp and going up and down, it's treacherous. Air temps are like 41 degrees. Got a beautiful day, light wind, sunshine. Coming off a really major rain event. I mean, we probably got, what do you think they got, like 3 or 4 inches of rain, Greg?
Yeah, 2 or 3. Probably.
Yeah, 2 to 3 inches. A lot of these, backs of these pockets that were kind of dry. The lake level is at basically winter pool. So it's, I don't know, like 4 foot low, 5 foot low, something like that. You can see over here on the wall. See that break wall right there? See that lighter colored stain? That's summer pool right there. So it's down quite a bit. But a lot of these backs of these coves, you can see right here, it's high and dry. But there's a little bit of trickle water coming down. So it's kind of muddied some of the backs of these pockets up, and it'll start clearing, especially if they start pulling water in the main river channel. It'll suck a lot of this dirty water out of these coves. Everything will just kind of mix together. So you could have some actually clear water coming in. Maybe this afternoon, maybe tomorrow. I'm not really sure how long it takes, but that's a possibility. But the water's still cold, mid 40s. Gonna be probably an A-rig, jerkbait, maybe jig type of deal. And we got 1 day to figure it out. Greg hasn't been down here fishing. He's crappie fish, but he hasn't bass fished in several months. So we're kind of going in blind. We're gonna try to poke around, hit some main lake points, secondary points, just try to get a few bites so we can have something to go on tomorrow. Man, we're fishing though, you know? Win, lose, or draw, it's gonna be fun. I'm not working. I'm down here at Lake of the Ozarks. Late winter, life is good. Let's see if we can catch some fish. Oh, by the way, just got our bellies filled up at the Pancake House. If you're in Osage Beach, you're looking for a great breakfast. Haven't been there for lunch, but I'm sure it's good as well. The Pancake House, phenomenal service, really good waitresses. The food is top notch. The price is right. You will get full, trust me. Portions are big and it's good stuff. So ate a big breakfast. It's gonna last me hopefully most of the day. Let's go try to catch some fish. There, fish on, baby. Fish on, just like that. Second cast. Right off the corner of that dock. Small keeper. Back hook. Back hook. It's alright, man. It's my old mega bass. Come up in here, buddy. Come here. It's a good sign. He's barely hooked. Come on. Come off. I can't believe it came off yet. Alright, not quite a keeper. Little spot, ain't it? Yeah, that's a spot. A little spot of bass came up from underneath that dock. Right. It's a good way to start it off. Greg's back at the house. He's waiting on the contractor to come look at his, he's going to pour some kind of footing or something for his dock. So I snuck out the boat for a little bit and I'm gonna go back and pick him up, but there we go. I'm right. A little rough patch on the tongue. That's how you can tell a bass is a spotted bass. Not quite a keeper, but it's fun.
You gotta pull that hot foot up.
Huh?
You gotta pull that hot foot up.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It sticks a little bit right towards the top. Catch anything?
I caught one.
Did you? Anything decent?
No, like a 14-inch spot. I didn't get very far.
Yeah. I didn't think it was gonna take very long.
This water's still pretty good shape though. It's not that, it's clean. We got shad now. Big old ball of shad. Nice. They're shallow.
Yeah, very shallow.
Any size to them? Oh yeah. Keeper. Small keeper. Spot? Cool. Oh yeah. That's a largemouth. Rub his tongue. Okay. A stocky little sucker. You got AGM batteries?
No.
Some regular lead acid?
Oh no, they're yeah, AGM. Yeah.
Okay.
Got him.
Oh, it came off. Dumped it. Dunk. That was a freaking backhanded goober hook set too. No, I mean it's just the way it is. I should have set straight up, I guess. It's a little bit lighter rod. It's a good bite though. He's out here about halfway back.
If you throw anything else, you're never gonna have confidence throwing something else either.
Right.
You know? And you throw all kinds. You throw way more stuff than I've ever thought about throwing. You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm always making videos, so I'm trying to keep it
right.
interesting. Yeah, it's interesting how fish just favor certain little sections for whatever reason. You another one? Little guy.
That corner of that dog.
There's something going on right here. Get an orange belly on that? Yeah. Okay.
I guess this is where live scope can come in handy.
Yeah. This eliminates a lot of dead water. Well, you can find all the brush piles that are in this little cove, and I'm not seeing any. I saw some bait back there, but it's been pretty void.
There's one.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw your rod tip jump. Little guy. Huh? Yeah, let's keep her. Fat.
It's a spot too.
I just looked over there and saw your rod tip go. Don't.
Right at the boat.
Maybe you need to be out a little bit. Just trying to make you nervous. Fueling up, man. Gotta get some fuel in the boat. Had a little bit less than a half a tank. Man, it's tough out here. Little midday report. We caught a few fish, but tomorrow's a new day. The wind's supposed to pick up. It's supposed to be even warmer. It was actually a really nice day today. Just running around. I still got the sock cap on, but you know, I'm kind of burnt, so it didn't matter anyway. Wore out, tired. Water temps are 48 degrees. We saw anywhere from 46 to 48 degrees, and it's, you know, some places are staying, and there's kind of this, it almost looks like the lake's turned over in some spots. There's like this little chunks of algae floating around, but other places it's 5 foot of visibility. So just depending on where you go, tomorrow's a new day. All right, caught me one. Ha! Knew I could catch a fish. There we go, folks. All right, folks, that is gonna wrap it up. Just caught a little fish on the old Cumberland Pro Lures, little rump finesse jig, and man, it's been slow today. It's been slow. Greg's did most of the catching. I literally caught 2 fish, and I had like 3 bites. That's it. But pretty cool little jig. Tomorrow, tournament day. Don't know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna keep our heads down, grind. We'll probably fish a different area than we did today because this area sucked, and we need to find a place that doesn't suck. So we'll see you in the morning. Hey, give me a thumbs up if you appreciate the content, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Subscribing to the channel is a great way to support the content creators because it is a lot of work. Kind of an uneventful practice day. We only had about a half a day. Greg had not been on the water in several months bass fishing. He had made one trip and caught some crappie. I hadn't been down there since the Anglers in Action Maria Memorial Tournament, which was, I think, late September. Mike had been on the water a few times, but he was staying back home to witness the birth of his grandchild. So we were kind of going in blind. We did a lot of eliminating water. We fished a section of the lake that we most likely weren't going to fish for the tournament, but we wanted to go up there and putt around. And we stayed away from some spots that Greg was planning on fishing. There's no need to go in there and swarm out some fish. So we were just kind of poking around. We kept a jerkbait and an A-rig in our hand most of the day. And I did kind of mix in a jig towards the end of the day, and I ended up catching the last keeper or the last fish of the day on that jig. So I caught the first fish and the last fish, and Greg caught some fish in between. Had a few bites, but it seemed like most of the fish were relating to secondary points. So that was kind of our plan going into the tournament. We were going to key on like the splitter points, the secondary points, and maybe the main lake points, just kind of transition type areas, deeper points with, you know, a little bit different kind of rock, not the pea gravel type stuff, but kind of the darker, natural, chunky rock type of stuff. So that was kind of the game plan. The wind was supposed to blow tournament day. On the day we were practicing, it wasn't blowing. It was pretty slick. So not the best conditions. We talked to a couple people that had been fishing that day, and they said it was pretty tough as well. There was an OMTT tournament that day, and it did take 20-something pounds to win. So they were bringing in some fish. There were some fish being caught. I think the last check was, I don't know, right, like high 13s, maybe low 14s. So they caught them, but there was a lot of low weights. There was a lot of people that struggled in that tournament. So it was like half the field caught some fish, and then there was a lot of people that kind of struggled. So we got a game plan going into the day, and we're just going to keep our heads down, cover as many of those secondary points as we can. I mentioned something about the water earlier. It looked like the lake had turned over, but that's probably not what happened based on the water conditions, like the actual water temperatures. We had a lot of runoff. There was about 3 inches of rain. So all that dry land, all the scum and stuff that's sitting on that land, when you get a bunch of rain, it washes that into the backs of the pockets and stuff. And that's what we're seeing floating around everywhere. There's just like this chunks of nastiness floating around. So it looked kind of, I don't know, it just looked nasty. You get in some areas and it wasn't too bad, but a lot of these places just had all that nastiness in it. So that was kind of, we're trying to find some cleaner water, and there was a lot of cleaner water. There, you know, there's some pretty heavy stain in some of those places, but there was, you get out in the main lake and the water looked really good. So it wasn't as bad as what it first looked like. Once you got there and you kind of paid attention to what's going on, there was pretty good visibility. A lot of the places was like 1.5 to 2 foot of visibility. So felt good about it. Water temperatures were like 46 to 48. So head down in the morning. That video will be coming soon. One more thing I wanted to mention was live scope. Greg does not have live scope. I have live scopes. I've been fishing it for about a year and I'm really used to it, and it's such a disadvantage not having live scope. Sure, you can still catch them. You just got to run a lot more areas, and you kind of gotta, it's a lot of hope, you know. They say if you're not scoping, you're hoping, and there is definitely some truth to that. You know, it's so much more efficient covering water with live scope. You know, we scanned a lot, and it's just, we weren't seeing a lot of fish. But with live scope, you can drop your trolling motor down, you can look around on those points and kind of scan, see if you can find the brush piles. Greg had several brush piles marked, several wave points, several blue dots, but you're still casting over those brush piles. You're not quite sure how deep they are, and then you're not quite sure how far they stick up off the bottom of the lake. And so you have a tendency to get hung up because you can't really see what's going on there. With live scope, you can tell. You can see how far your bait is falling, and you can actually see the fish reacting to the bait. So that was a disadvantage. It was kind of interesting. It was fun though. You know, it was fun to just fish. You're just going fishing. You know, it's just taking you back to the days, taking me back a year ago. I've caught plenty of fish without live scope, don't get me wrong. But for winter fishing, for what we were doing, throwing an A-rig and a jerkbait, there's definitely an advantage to having live scope.